The most compelling villains prove that monstrous potential lurks within us all. From the tragic fall of Kid Marvelman to the calculated horror of Ozymandias' plan, these dark tales reveal that villains are often forged, not born, in the fires of circumstance and corrupted ideals. In the grim and distorted reality of the Marvelman Miracle Man universe, the story of Kid Marvelman stands as a chilling testament to the corrupting influence of power and circumstance. Once a symbol of youthful heroism, he was a member of a family of extraordinary champions, each capable of transforming into beings of immense power. However, their idyllic world was brutally dismantled by a scientist's sinister assault, an event that irrevocably altered the course of young Kid Marvelman's life. Tragically, this attack left him permanently locked in his superpowered state, a bizarre and unsettling predicament for a child. Imagine the psychological toll of being forever frozen as a superpowered kid, robbed of a normal childhood and the natural progression of life. Over time, this unnatural state and the immense power it granted twisted his innocent nature, leading him down a dark path. He succumbed to corruption, transforming into a sociopathic murderer, his once heroic spirit utterly extinguished. In this terrifying transformation, Kid Marvelman went on to construct a brutal empire, one built upon a foundation of violence, fear, and the shattered remnants of his former self. His tragic descent serves as a stark reminder of how even the purest of hearts can be warped by the cruel hand of fate and the seductive allure of unchecked power. In the dark and morally complex world of the irredeemable comic series, the Plutonian's transformation from celebrated hero to monstrous villain is a disturbing exploration of the fragility of even the most seemingly virtuous souls. Once hailed as the world's greatest protector, an unwavering beacon of hope and justice, the Plutonian stood as a symbol of all that was good and righteous. However, beneath the surface of this flawless facade, years of relentless public scrutiny and the crushing weight of maintaining an impossible standard of perfection began to erode his spirit. The constant pressure to be infallible, to always make the right choice, took its toll, chipping away at his sense of self. A pivotal turning point arrived when he made the vulnerable decision to reveal his secret identity to his girlfriend, seeking solace and genuine connection. Instead of acceptance, he was met with immediate and devastating betrayal. She attempted to expose him to the world, shattering his trust in humanity and any semblance of hope he still clung to. This profound personal matter, coupled with the accumulated stress of his heroic existence, pushed him over the edge. Despair and a burning desire for revenge consumed him, twisting his noble intentions into something monstrous. In his brokenness, he resolved to abandon his role as a benevolent protector, choosing instead to rule through fear, unleashing his immense power to dominate and punish the very world he once swore to safeguard. Within the morally ambiguous landscape of Watchmen, Adrian Veidt, the self-proclaimed world's smartest man, and costumed hero Ozymandias, embodies the treacherous path where even brilliance can lead to darkness. Driven by a profound fear of global nuclear annihilation, Veidt conceived a radical and ethically horrifying plan to safeguard humanity. His solution was not diplomacy or peace, but a calculated act of mass violence, the orchestration of a fabricated alien invasion targeting New York City. This meticulously crafted deception resulted in the deaths of millions of innocent people, a sacrifice Veidt deemed necessary to shock the nations of Earth into unity. His twisted logic rested on the belief that a shared external threat, even a manufactured one, was the only viable means to transcend nationalistic divides and avert global self-destruction. Though Veidt rationalized his actions as a necessary evil, a painful but ultimately world-saving measure, his choice irrevocably transformed him into a mass murderer, regardless of his initial intentions. Ozymandias' story serves as a chilling cautionary tale, highlighting the perilous reality that even the most high-minded goals, pursued through morally bankrupt means, can culminate in devastating and unforgivable consequences. In the sprawling multiverse of Marvel Comics, the Ultimate Marvel Universe presents a particularly disturbing iteration of Reed Richards, a brilliant mind twisted into malevolence. This version of the iconic Mr. Fantastic took a harrowing turn following the catastrophic Ultimatum event. a devastating crisis that claimed the lives of countless heroes and left an indelible scar on the world. Haunted by the immense loss and burdened by a crushing sense of self-blame for the tragedy, Reed Richards became profoundly disillusioned with the very concept of superheroism, questioning its efficacy and inherent value. Adding to his spiraling despair, a deeply personal rejection arrived when his marriage proposal was turned down, a blow that seemed to shatter any remaining faith in connection and compassion. This confluence of grief, guilt, and heartbreak ignited a dark transformation within him. Turning his back on his former allies and the heroic ideals he once championed, Reed Richards embraced a villainous persona, becoming known as the ultimate enemy. His already formidable intellect, now amplified to unimaginable levels and untethered from morality, became his most dangerous weapon. Ultimately, his reign of terror transcended universes as he crossed over into the main Marvel continuity, reinventing himself as the Maker, a being of immense power and intellect dedicated to destruction and domination. Driven by a blinding rage and inconsolable grief, Hank Henshaw's descent into villainy as the cyborg Superman is a chilling narrative of betrayal and twisted vengeance. Consumed by the belief that Superman was responsible for the death of his wife, Henshaw embarked on a path of destruction cloaked in deception. He cunningly adopted the guise of Superman returning from the grave, leveraging this fabricated resurrection to manipulate and gain the trust of a hopeful populace. This calculated charade allowed him to infiltrate and undermine from within, all while masking his sinister agenda. However, Henshaw's ultimate goal was far more malevolent than mere impersonation. He harbored a catastrophic plan to reshape Earth itself into a brutal war world, a testament to his warped vision of order and retribution. Fortunately, his elaborate scheme was ultimately thwarted by the timely intervention of the genuine Superman and his steadfast allies, who exposed his treachery and prevented the planet's horrifying transformation. This dark saga serves as a potent illustration of how unchecked grief and corrosive anger can warp even the most brilliant intellects, driving individuals to commit acts of unimaginable cruelty and betrayal in the pursuit of misguided vengeance. Fueled by a consuming vendetta against all superpowered beings, the villainous Prometheus stands as a chilling example of how personal tragedy can breed a terrifyingly focused hatred. Driven by this all-encompassing rage, Prometheus meticulously plotted to dismantle the very concept of heroism, beginning with a brutal and symbolic act, the calculated murder of the young and idealistic hero, Retro. Seizing this tragic opportunity, Prometheus coldly assumed Retro's identity, a grotesque act of impersonation that allowed him to insidiously infiltrate the ranks of the Justice League, the world's foremost superhero team. From within, he moved with chilling precision, his elaborate plans nearly culminating in the utter destruction of the Justice League, pushing them to the brink of annihilation. However, his meticulously crafted scheme ultimately unraveled through the unexpected intervention of Catwoman, a more grounded and morally ambiguous figure from the shadows of Gotham. The genesis of Prometheus's virulent anti-hero sentiment lay in the tragic fate of his parents, career criminals whose deaths he directly attributed to the actions or inactions of superheroes, a warped perspective that solidified his unwavering and deadly resolve to bring down all those who dared to wear a cape. If you're intrigued by these villainous tales and hungry for more superhero content, be sure to check out my recent video where I dive deep into the newest Fantastic Four trailer, breaking down all the hidden details and exciting reveals. Don't miss out! Watch it now to fuel your superhero obsession.